I was wrong.
So I just want people to understand what social media is, right? And we every week we talk about be the best version of you, and you gotta kind of understand if social media is good for your mentals. For me, very often I feel like deleting social media, Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing, because for me, and this is just me. I'm not saying people do this, but you see, I have a lot of filmmakers on my timeline, and a lot of family men and stuff like that. A lot of fashion and things that are important to me as a man. And when you see other people, because again, my son's mother had to remind me, people post their best on social media. People never post when the rent due, or the
Mm-hmm.
landlord about to evict them, or
Yeah.
your clothes get thrown in the street the other night, and that kind of thing. Like, you don't see those things on social media. So when for me, I look on social media and I see men with their families being happy. I see filmmakers getting to do what they love to do. I see fashion. I see certain high end fashions that I'm like, child, I wish I could buy that watch, or I could afford those jeans or whatever. But in the end, I compare myself to those people. I compare myself to local filmmakers, to guys that I know about in my year at school, that have their family, their nuclear family, and they're happy, and they're living their quote unquote best life. So, and it's something that I have to be cognizant of, because you get enamored with that, you get enamored with other people's lives, and then you put that against your life, and you say, "Shh,
Uh-huh.
I just ain't doing enough in my life." But when you look at it, and you look at, because I legit had to take stock of the things that I am doing in my career. Now, granted, I am not rich off of my career, I'm not making money off my career, but I do feel validated for some of the responses that I've gotten throughout my career. And I let that speak for itself when it comes to my career. In terms of my family, it's not ideal. We all grew up wishing we had a wife and children, and all of that jazz, white picket fence, dog, you
Two and a
know,
half kids.
2.5 kids. That's what we were raised on, and steady income. But as you get older, you realize it ain't that easy. So I want people to understand what social media is, and to kind of understand the devil that you deal with when you sign up to these social media platforms, and when you hit send to send these posts, because everything that glitters ain't gold, and y'all may think, oh, this is just Instagram, oh, this is just Twitter, oh, this is just me in a bikini, oh, this is just. But if you are constantly looking at your phone to see your likes, dislikes, comments, um, you know, we gotta be very careful. And in the context of a relationship, I think it is very important for people to, at first, as you, Dion, and some of the people in the chat rightly said, if you know early out in the juggling that my girl or my man does, only wear boxers or panty, and they like a lot of artistic thing, but they ain't a model or anything like that. If you know that that's what they get down, and you decide to go forward, you can't get vexed when it happen on your watch. If it ain't
Mm-hmm.
happen on your watch and that's what draw you in, it can't get vexed when it happen when it on your watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the as you say, that's what draws you in. That's what you see.
Yep.
Because we all know, and this is kind of like a segue to the question I wanted to ask yesterday, but I said, you know what? Last week was a little contentious, so you can kind of rein it back. But I'll ask the question here for everybody else. Um, yeah, that's the stuff that draws you in. But we all know the dirt goes down in the DMs,
Yep.
right? The grease goes down in the DMs, right? So this is the question I wanted to ask. Would you give up all your social media if your partner required it of you?
Oh my God. So, just to give context to this question, right? You posed this question to me quite literally 3 hours before we went live. We had, so what we do is, I think pretty much by weekend, going into weekend, the week before the podcast, we know what we're going to talk about for the next. Actually, we got content for a good little while. But then, we were chatting today, and we were not even chatting. Oh, not me. Yeah. So anyhow, Derek came up with this question today, and yo, it is a doozy, because last week we were talking about requirements in a relationship, and how all of them, from our standpoint, from our opinion perspective, it is a valid thing to have your requirements and your standards, and wanting that to feel comfortable and secure in your relationship. To your question, I would say if a woman asks me to uh, get rid of my social media for them because it makes them feel uncomfortable, depending on what content I have on there, depending on what my business is in relation to that, I would have to ask for a little more. I have no problem in talking about it. I have no problem in saying, okay, I understand you feel uncomfortable with me in a speedo. Yeah. Women all in my likes and my DMs and I on the street and women saying, yo, use that man for Instagram, that you woman and this and that next. I understand. Um, but in the context of me as a like that's not my business to be a model or anything like that. I would wonder, is there an insecurity you want to talk about and address? Do you think that I will be unfaithful? Have I shown you in any which way that I will take on these comments and engage? Because it's one thing to see these comments in the social media, like you barely want carrying home, I would barely harm you, woman, this and that next. But it's another thing for me to respond in kind. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I have a woman, so I think it's very interesting that question. I would want to get to the root of it. If it is me, like as a filmmaker, I out there in a speedo showing off my muscles and flexing. All right, cool. I could cut that out. Then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That ain't necessary. But like for our guy Ramel, that is a fitness trainer. Yeah, like
You got to advertise.
you got shoot. The man's body is his work, his resume, pretty much. He's a walking billboard. So I wonder what the people think. Let me read some of these comments here. I missed some of the comments. Tanya, while that is true, this is Dior responded to Tonya. Tonya was saying um, that the silhouette challenge wasn't that serious because women were doing it with undergarments on or anything like that. The fact remains, though, Tanya, is that some women did it naked, and some men or some people, I don't know if it's men or women. I don't want to cast aspersions, but people were taking it and removing the filter. So, and even if you're in your underwear, the point is, it's a silhouette. You're posting it not to be in a compromising position, which is ironic, but you know. So like Dion was saying, I missed Dion's comment again. But yeah, Dion responded to you. It's true, Dion, but this Tonya responded to Dion. That's true, Dion, but I think most people who post online understand the risk. Well, I hope so. Yeah, that's not true. Some people literally hit saying and think that the worst that could happen is that a man can just say, baby, you look fine. When really and truly, there are a lot of creeps out there and people are nasty. Dion, I think we assume they know the risk, but a lot don't. And
Yep.
that's the problem, not being able to mentally handle the sickos. Same thing I just said, agreed. Carry on. Social media is more trouble and time wasting than it is worth. Locks, man. She's Jamaican, so forgive, you know. Um, Neil's long way of saying no, he's keeping his social media. See what I tell you? See what is not to let certain people. I love you, Carrie Ann. Um, Agreed with Neil. We would have to have a conversation. What are you trying to achieve? If it's an insecurity issue coming off, social media doesn't solve it. Agreed.
Amen
That's
and
my
amen,
point.
Dion.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, I believe in a relationship, we are to make each other better. And if we break up, we should feel like we have become better people leaving the relationship. So if you come in with an insecurity and you say, man, look, you look real good, you're a tall man, you got long hair, this and that, and the next and the third, women always knocking down your DMs. I can say, but I don't take them on. And if you see in like one of my replies or comments and think that I am taking them on, we gotta address that because when I'm committed to a woman, I'm committed to that woman, and only her. So um,
I I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here with Dion. I see she's saying if it's an insecurity issue coming off social media, it doesn't solve it. Okay. But what if it's a case of having been down that road before and knowing, all right, as I said not too long ago, the dirt goes down in the DMs, right? So what if your man decides, hey, you know what? We can preempt the dirt. Just come off the social media. Facebook, no Instagram, everything. Just shut it down, right? Not that I am insecure, but hey, I know that y'all women like validation, you like the attention of men and stuff like that. So to cut that out, come off social media. Right? No social media. That way we don't got to worry about you getting tempted and then it turning into an insecurity for me.
Mm.
Just come off your social media. How about that, Dion? How, as opposed to just saying automatically is an insecurity. How about it just being a case where I am putting things in place to protect my relationship because the relationship matters to me. So, because it could be a case where he decides, you know what, I don't want my girl going out to girls' night out, for example. Now, my girl ain't going to the bar. Yeah, it might be a case we check WhatsApp too. Give
Mm.
me your phone. Because there are men that do that, right? Yeah,
Oh,
there are men
yeah.
that do that.
And I will tell anybody now, if you go looking through somebody's phone for dirt,
Be
you
prepared.
will you will find what you're looking for. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
they will have dirt, but because your mind is already in that space, even the simplest things you're going to construe into infidelity or a nefarious action. Again, I just saying, be prepared. When you're good looking, you look for where you're finding. Where you want to find something.
Dion is saying no, you want to be my parent. So you're going to check my WhatsApp too, because if the person take, okay, I'm not sure. I can't read that one.
Because if the
They
person
probably,
all off equals enough,
if it
right?
take enough
So
chat in the DMs, they're probably taking it live too, for sure. For sure.
yeah. So claps for me. Yeah, thanks. I am here to please.
I was wrong.